This is not iCarly.
Yes! Yes! Lisa's dream continues for another week.
Y'all, Lisa is so happy because, obviously we're continuing our Exiles read, and she was like, did you like it, Lauren? Did you like that? And I was like, it was emo shit, but I loved it. And she was like, yes!
Yes! It's so good. It's so good. But let's just get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to Simply Amazing, the podcast where we talk about Nocturne and Nocturne every week, all the time.
I think you mean her father, Nightcrawler. Come on, Lisa. We can't we can't lose focus of it all. We just take some nice detours because she's a part of the family.
She is a part of the family. And here's the thing. For those of you who last week were like, where's my boy? Well, he's back. He's in this issue. So
He is.
He is. So he's there. So, but yeah, I am Elisa, aka the OG Nocturne, and I'm here with the lovely, and you're looking so good, girl. That gym is doing you good. I can see it. You are looking fab.
Thank you. Yeah, even when I was on a work trip last week, I was working out. Like, I still went to that little tiny fitness room. Like, it was literally it was like half the size of the room, maybe the size of the room I'm in right now. And there was like barely anything there, but I made it work. That's what you do, y'all. You make it work. You do something. It don't gotta be the biggest thing in the world. Just do something. But yes, I'm Lauren, your friendly neighborhood bye. And I'm super excited because I know y'all can't see, but I moved my recording stuff. So if you watch my YouTube channel or whatever, then you'll see it in the future. I can actually decorate the wall right behind me. And my brother Caleb, he came in and saw it and he was like, you look like a YouTuber. And I was like, finally! For like 2 fucking years, I better.
It's a beautiful blank canvas right now that is going to be just.
It is, except Lisa, you'll appreciate this. I have the Steve Rogers, the Captain America and the Falcon comic here, where Steve leaves the team for the first time. I have that here.
Oh, look at that! Look at Steve. Stop being such a whiny baby. Like, stop leaving the team so much. All right, come on. You always come back. So
it's true. He does. And it's okay. I have his origin above, so there's happy and sad Cap.
Perfect. I love it. And I just want to make a point about like hotels that have these like fitness rooms. The audacity sometimes the audacity. But seriously, it's like they get a treadmill in a room and they call it a fitness center. Come on.
No, seriously, this one, so it had, I think, 2 treadmills, an elliptical, and it had a bench. It had some dumbbell weights, which the lowest they had was a 15. So I was like, well, I know I could do 15s. I don't know how many reps because I'm still, growing. I'm baby. But I did them. So I was like, now I go to my trainer tomorrow and you're like, I shouldn't tell you this, but I can do 15s. And so now he will not let me do 12s anymore. I will be doing only 15s and higher. So, but they had that. They had a yoga mat. They had like a foam roller. So they had quite a bit of stuff. The problem was the room was so small that if you have all the machines filled, the 3 machines, and you have people on the weights, and you have people trying to do yoga and shit, everybody's on top of each other sweating. It's disgusting.
Doesn't sound very COVID friendly. It does not sound very COVID compliant.
It is not. It is not COVID compliant. Got him.
And can we all everybody listening, can we all agree that we are not going to tell Lauren's trainer that she can do 15s? We can agree that we're all going to keep that secret together.
Why do I not trust you, Lisa? I feel like you're going to get everybody else to get on this like blood pact. And then next thing I know, you're calling me tomorrow. Hey, Lauren, can I talk to your trainer real quick? She can do 15s all the time.
How dare you? How very dare you? How dare you? Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We're talking about Exiles 3 and 4, which of course bring our boy into it. And this is really exciting because they're going to be talking about the trial of the Phoenix. So this is cool because every single one of the Exiles has some kind of reference or relationship with the trial of the Phoenix, whether they were there for it or learned about it. Well, none of them really there for it, but they learned about it in history. They have relationships with the characters. The only one who has no relationship with any of it is Blink. So,
which makes sense. And one thing I really love too about this issue, because it starts this way, but it continues throughout as a theme of Jean Grey as a character and how much of an impact she's had on everyone. And listen, I know there's people that are like, fuck that bitch. I'm a Jean Grey apologist. I don't care what you have to say, because when she has her shit together and she's written well, she's an icon. So don't come at me with that. So I really loved, and it makes sense too for the time period that the Trial of the Phoenix happens. Jean Grey was beloved beyond a shadow of a doubt. And it
Yes.
was really cool to see how that impact also lasted with these other characters from other timelines, other universes. Like, the love for Jean Grey is universal. I know some of you are like, we're over it, but like, I'm not.
I wholeheartedly agree. I totally love Jean Grey. I loved X-Men Red. That was one of my absolute favorite modern runs of an X-Men book. And you know what? I take my I'll take it from the man himself. You know who also loves Jean Grey? Fucking Kurt Wagner loves Jean Grey.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. So moving on, Jean Grey. We love Jean Grey here. We are Jean Grey stans. And anybody who doesn't like it, turn this off right now. Okay. Goodbye. So, or actually,
turn off your love of Kurt, because Kurt loves her too. You don't have to agree with him, but you have to accept it.
Kurt loves her so much that his daughter calls her Aunt Jean. So,
oh my God, that was such a great moment. Like, when she was like Aunt Jean, I was like, I'm gonna fall on the floor. I can't do this. As I'm swiping on the Marvel Unlimited app on my phone, just my phone plops to the ground.
So basically, the way it starts is they all just blop into the Trial of the Phoenix, and they're told by the Talus that they need to kill Jean. And at first, they're like, okay, this is easy because that's not actually Jean. That's the Phoenix Force pretending to be Jean, and Jean's at the bottom of the Pacific. So this is like one and done. Let's just go kill her, get out of here.
We'll run, babes. Kill and run.
We'll go to Denny's for a Grand Slam after this. It'll be real easy. And Blink is like, actually, no, that's Jean. This is a totally different world. Jean is actually the one who's doing this. It's not the Phoenix. It's her. And all of the Exiles are like, they all have their own relationships with Jean. And of course, Nocturne specifically is like, this is someone who helped raise me. This is someone I call Aunt Jean. You're asking a big ask of all of us to kill someone who is family to all of us. And so basically Calvin Mimic says, listen, we're not going to do this. We're going to figure out another way. We'll talk to the X-Men. We'll figure something out. And the Talus is like, all right, clearly I have clearly not been clear enough, and just takes over their minds and tells them, exactly what's going to happen if Jean doesn't get killed, which is basically within 9 days, the entire planet is going to be destroyed and everyone's going to die. So they really have no choice.
Listen, I have to speak for some demented people, like one of my siblings who I love more than life. I just think that's sexy of the Phoenix Force. Obviously, we don't want Jean doing that, but the Phoenix Force can eat whatever planets they want to. I mean, by Earth.
That's true. It's also kind of funny because the Phoenix Force is actually part of the X-Men in Nocturne's home world, which is kind of a funny little side thing.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it's very weird. It's we'll get to it eventually if we continue with the Exiles run. But when we get to actual Nocturne's home world, the Phoenix Force ends up taking over Colossus's dead body and just lives as a sexy metal chick. And yeah, but she's just there. I mean, it's interesting, but yeah. But here the Phoenix Force is obviously evil, and has become one with Jean, and Jean is going to do all this evil stuff, and so they've decided they have to now kill her. There's no choice; they have to do it. So they all kind of come up with little costumes. They disguise themselves as some aliens from some faraway land. I mean, of all the costumes they choose, Morphs is my absolute favorite. Because
Morph's a menace.
Yeah, Morph chooses this ridiculously stupid, it's this Superman, sexy Superman, stupid looking hairy chested thing. I love it. He's just ridiculous. I love it. But they basically are like, we're gonna help out, as these things, and they take these disgusting smelling flowers and put them all over themselves, so Wolverine can't smell them and all that stuff, and they, they're all kind of having a hard time with this situation because they're surrounded by people they know and love, but they can't actually interact with them. And of course, Nocturne specifically, Mimic says like to her, don't go like trying to find your father, like,
Don't go chasing waterfalls. That's what's happening.
yeah, don't go chasing your daddy because he's going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so in that, they have Mimic and Blink end up having a long discussion about how Mimic is completely unsuited to actually be the team leader. And it's Blink who should be the one who's running the team, which, yeah, duh, let the women do the work. Hello. Yes, absolutely, Val. I mean, the Talus made the decision when Blink got it. So, it's like you're just now catching up. Hello.
I mean, I'm gonna give Mimic some props too, though. Like, obviously, let women do the work. Like, but Mimic did a great step of realizing, hey, I can lead, and I've led plenty of times. But also, he's the one that points out the Talus chose Blink and all these other things. So, like, allies, this is what you're supposed to do, men. Pay attention.
That's it. And I think that that does show in Mimic a good form of leadership. Just because being a good leader doesn't mean you always have to be the leader, right? It's like sometimes you have to see the lead in other people and see who suits what role best. And obviously in this case, this is the second time now they are running into an issue where their feelings are coming in the way of fact. And they're letting their feelings cloud the decisions that need to be made. And obviously last time they really fucked it up and Magnus died. So now what are they going to do? Are they going to fuck it up again and the whole world is going to die? Or are they going to do the right thing? So he's now decided, the only one who really has no connection to a lot of this stuff is Blink. So she's maybe the only one who has the level enough head to really make those decisions. And I agree. I mean, obviously none of the other ones are suited for that.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have the personal connections, which, here's the thing. Emotion is also very powerful and helps us. That's the thing that I don't, that I've grown up having issues with, and I know we see in media and things like that, right? And I want to reference the Captain Marvel film, because I watched the Empower episode on Disney+. I watched the Black Panther one, and I watched the second one, Captain Marvel. And what I really love they point out in that film is how, in that film, they really want to get across the point that Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel's emotion, powers her. She just had to learn how to channel it correctly and all these different things. And that's why I wanted to point, that disclaimer here. Like, obviously, emotion can be a powerful tool, powerful weapon. But at the same time, sometimes you also have to recognize when, hey, my emotions are getting in the way here, and embracing them is actually not helping. What can help us here when I'm having issues with emotion, but someone else isn't? So I think that was fantastic. And yeah, it's completely logical. And it's also, I mean, Mimic has the emotions and is still able to say, both emotionally and logically, I not only think logically you should be a leader, but I need you to be, because I know I'm emotionally compromised.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, it shows, he knows what he's doing. He is a good leader because he knows where he needs to step down. So good on you, buddy. I like you, Mimic. I like you a lot. You're a good guy.
Honestly, an icon.
Icon, exactly. Well, and then he takes the next step, and Wolverine shows up and is like, hey, buddy, I didn't know you were here. Like, when did you show up? Like, we're all good friends and everything. And Mimic, thanks him for showing up by just immediately starting to beat the absolute living crap out of him. I mean,
because that's what you do with your besties, right? I mean, that's what I did when I visited Lisa in New York last year.
That's true.
Bam, bam. And it was not a sexy pillow fight before any weirdo says that shit.
No.
Full on brutal.
No, my arm still is bent at a weird angle because it hasn't set correctly. Like, it's bad. It's bad.
Everybody's gonna think we're terrible people now.
Oh, it's okay. We are. It's fine. Don't worry about it. No, we're wonderful. Actually, we're simply amazing.
Got him.
That's it. We said the thing. So basically Mimic is just like, I need to neutralize this guy before he gets back to the X-Men, and tells them, hey, Mimic's here. And then it's like, well, what the hell? Why is Mimic here? Who else is here that we don't know about? And, ruins the whole thing. And yeah, Mimic, they just have a fallout brawl, basically.
Yep. Brawl. There. I mean, listen, cute guys rolling around and beating each other up. I mean, listen, I know I'm supposed to stop the fight, but also, woo!
Yeah, let's do it. And meanwhile, while they're fighting, Morph and Mariko are having a little get to know ya in the jacuzzi tub, which I mean,
Of
I love.
course.
Listen, Shi'ar space, like their little space station is awesome. I love having little jacuzzi tubs. They got
Oh,
everything.
Lisa, what if there was a vacation resort we could go to that was like Shi'ar Imperial themed? I'm there. Bye, y'all. Y'all
I
can
mean,
have your X mansion. I'm going to the Shi'ar Imperial ship or
right? Oh
whatever.
my God. I would love it. That would be amazing. Honestly, now that I'm looking at like what they actually have on a Shi'ar ship, they've got like gardens, they've got jacuzzis. That's basically a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. I mean, essentially. So
It's time for us to go, Lisa. We're gonna pack up this episode. We're leaving, y'all.
we're done. We're going. We're basically going. Anyway, Royal Caribbean, if you would like to sponsor us, we are taking sponsors. So come on over. We're happy to have you. So yeah, they're talking about it, and he basically Morph tells her that in his world that he's Morph Wolverine and her are together. And she's like, oh, he's like weird, but he's handsome, I guess. Spoiler alert, guys, for those who have not read Exiles before, she's a lesbian. That's gonna come out later. Maybe I shouldn't have said it already, but it's gonna come out later.
Wait,
What?
who's a lesbian?
Mariko.
I
Sunfire.
knew it.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
him.
she's
When?
gay. That's gonna come out later. So now we're going back to the fight. They're still fighting. It's all happening, and finally, Calvin is able to completely neutralize Wolverine, at least knock him out, or try to knock him out. Or he's still working on it. As they're fighting, Nocturne and T-Bird have a little moment. We've already covered issue 16 of Exiles, which was the one about Nocturne and Thunderbird's relationship. And it's interesting when you go back and actually read through the early issues, you can see the little hints that are planted along the way, because little things like this, for example, when he calls her Talia and she's like, oh, that's weird. Why are you calling me that? Because it's very clear that she doesn't let people call her that who aren't close to her in a very certain way. Because he asks like, oh, did my brother call you that? And she's like, well, I don't. Yeah, but because she dated his brother in another world, because we know that, like, let's be real. TJ exclusively dates Proud Stars. She's got a type, and it's Proud Star.
I mean, listen, Kurt's got a type, and it's people related to him. No, I'm kidding. I'm so sorry, Kurt. I had to.
Kurt's got a type, and it's like super powerful women who could like mess you up. And
oh my God, no wonder I love him so much, because same. And
Nocturne's got a type, and it's super powerful men who can mess you up. I mean, there you go. So
again, same. Idris Elba, call me. I know you have a wife and she's amazing, but also call me.
There you go. Exactly. And while they're having their little like moment, they overhear some craziness happening, and they run to see what it is. It's not some like amazing lovemaking that they're hoping to walk in on. No, it's actually Calvin beating the crap out of Wolverine, and it turns out he did get him. And he's like, I could use a beer. Yeah, we all could after this. Yes.
I mean, for real. Like, what's crazy is about that brawl between Logan and Mimic is that, like, you get all this narration as well with what's going on through Mimic's mind the entire time. And it's both entertaining and depressing, because he really doesn't want to have to do this, But he also, again, he's the one that just blindly went, oh, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to beat his ass. It's like, damn, you weren't even going to try any kind of talking before. You just were like, fuck, beat his ass. Like,
I mean, I get where he comes from, though, because of all the people to tell we're going to kill Jean Grey, Wolverine's one of the last people who's going to go along with that without any kind of evidence, as we'll see in the next issue. So
even with evidence, you're absolutely right. Like, Logan will do anything, and we do see this later, right? He will go to any extent before, it's going to finally being like, okay, so now shit's out of the bag.
Yeah, it takes a lot of death before Logan even gets to the point where he's like, okay, now we got to kill this bitch. So, so yeah, but and yeah, I mean, it's very clear that Cal really loves Logan. Like, they are very close in their home world. He even says, like, if he were to be married, Logan would be his best man. Like, they are very close in their home world. So this is hard for him. And I think that this is what I love. Judd Winnick was very smart making this the second arc of the series, because it really like drove home the relationships these characters have with the X-Men and how important the X-Men are. And it really, it helps build the relationships we have with these characters, because all these
Yeah.
characters really are nobody. They're nothing. They're characters that mean nothing to any of us because they're brand new to most of us, right? Especially when they first were introduced. I mean, yeah, Mimic was a character, from the 1960s. Morph was a character from, I think he was around back then too. Thunderbird was introduced in the 70s. Mamrico came around, I think, in like the 70s or 80s. Like these characters existed, but they were all like C or below tier characters that never really made much of a difference. I mean, Thunderbird, probably of all the characters that I've listed, Thunderbird is probably the most important of them, only because of his sacrifice, right? So,
Yes.
And then you have characters like Nocturne and Magnus, who are just like children of important characters or characters that we care about. So to have these characters now show off, we see these relationships that we have with the characters that we know and love. It really makes us connect with them. And I think that's what made this specific arc resonate with me so much when I first read it, and really made me love the issues and just love this series so much, and keep reading it. And it just keeps going like that. And, we keep seeing them coming to different worlds and coming in contact with more and more of these different, iterations of themselves or people they love. But let's move on to the next issue, because the next issue starts with Wolverine is there and he's awake and he's like, oh my God, I am like hurt and Jean needs me. So I got to do something about this. And Nightcrawler's like, oh, you need some downtime. And Wolverine's like, oh, thanks, elf, whatever. And, and Xavier's like, something's going on in his head. Like his mind is all fragmented. I'm having a hard time reading it. It's weird. I don't understand. And and Nightcrawler's like, well, I mean, he's been attacked. I mean, maybe that's why. Like, give the guy a break. Like he's been like, come on, obviously. But and they're all kind of like, this is. I thought this was supposed to be like peaceful. Like, what's going on? We got to talk to Lilandra. But the reason that Wolverine's all fragmented and whatever is because, oh, bitch, Nocturne's in there. My girl.
And what's crazy? So I don't completely understand this power, Lisa. I know you and I personally have talked about before, but reading in this issue, I was trying to figure out what this body thing she does is. So can you re-explain this power of hers?
Okay, so basically what she does is she can possess people. So she can like enter someone's body and she takes them over. And when she does that, she can act as them completely. She can use their powers. She just is them. She can, I think she can kind of access their memories in a way. That's why when she talks about how she was born with limited telepathy, I think that's kind of rooted in this power, in that she has to connect somehow to their mind in order to be able to take them over. So that's where all this is kind of rooted, is what I take from it. But basically, like she's so. And what she talks about is like she says like she can do like up to 12 hours. She can stay inside somebody, but the way she kind of says it is like, oh, I don't know. So I think that's as long as she's tried to stay inside someone, but maybe she can do it longer. We don't know. But she says that's how she got the name Nocturne. I don't understand that part of it, because a nocturne is a song.
That's what I was trying to get to. I was like, she said like, that's kind of where I got the name. I'm like, you got Nocturne out of let me possess bitches and do what I want with them? Like,
yeah, no, that part I don't get. That part I think is like they're just trying to figure out how to make Nocturne make sense. That part I don't get.
Maybe, yeah.
But because literally I have like looked up I've looked up like, what does Nocturne mean? What does the literal word Nocturne mean? And I only can find that it means a song. So yeah, anyway. We're just gonna pretend that doesn't mean anything. And she's also a musician, so maybe that's part of it too. It's like, oh, it's night, it's a nocturne, night, and a musician, whatever. So who cares? And so that's what she does. But then after she takes over their bodies, they typically are like completely comatose for like almost 24 hours. So,
Mhm.
um, so Wolverine might not be comatose that long because of his healing factor, but for the most part, anyone who's taken over for that long will be comatose for a while.
Yeah.
But that's essentially how that works. But that's not her only power. She also has her little hex bolts that she calls her little hex bolt.
Yeah, yeah. I was so excited because this is where she says for the first time that Wanda, Scarlet Witch, is her mom. I was like, yeah, you were right. It came up.
It does come up. See that? So yeah, so she talks about like, yeah, like she's got her little hex bolts, which those are not actually hex bolts. She calls them that, but it's actually her opening a portal to the pocket dimension that her father teleports through and taking energy from that and like focusing it at people, which is, I'm sorry, I love her. She's my favorite. It's such a ridiculous explanation for like just it's just a bolt, like it's a bolt of energy, like it's a ridiculous explanation. But again, these are all ridiculous explanations. And then she explains that like, oh, I named it that because my mother is a Scarlet Witch. And Calvin's like, wow, that's a weird combination, which is like, that's a rude thing to say. Like, what a weird thing to say to somebody. Oh, my mom and dad are Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch. It's like, oh, I'd never see them together. Well, bitch, they got together. What do you,
I mean, to be fair, I think that is still like accurate, especially for the time. I mean, even people today say that, which I'm not saying it's right. Not saying it's right, but like they need to be more stuff together at Marvel. Take the damn hint. All right.
well,
We're
okay,
manifesting.
so here's the thing. The funny thing about this is when this came out, this was 2001 when this came out, Wanda was like a B-list character. She was like in West Coast Avengers, if that, at the time, or West Coast Avengers might have been ended at the time this came out, I think. And like she was like B tier. Like she was not the powerhouse character that she is now. It wasn't until House of M that Scarlet Witch became like this huge big deal character. So it's kind of funny. Like she wasn't that big of a deal. So, but the point I'm making about like this, you know, like, oh wow, that's a weird coupling is like, who says that to the child of the kids of the parents?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, who said that? Who said that? Was it Morph?
No, Mimic said it.
Oh, I mean, again, it was one of the men. I mean, no,
That's
sorry,
it. I
guys.
know. That's it. Yeah, men are stupid.
We're being a little more than usual.
Anyway, so then they start going over their strategy, and they're like, "Okay, let's stop bitching about Nocturne's parents, and like let's talk about strategy now." And they're trying to figure out, you know, how are they going to kill Jean Grey? What are they going to do? And they're like, "All right, well, you know, we just got to get in there and we got to fight them," you know. So
Yep, it's time to go. It is go time. They team up with the Shi'ar and they get on these weird disguises and shit. And bam, they're in the danger zone. They're on the battlefield, getting ready to go up against the X-Men. You got Cyclops trying to lead as usual. Do this, do that to the other X-Men. Except Logan, of course. Logan is still not there. And what really kind of made me laugh in a terrible fan way is that the first person Jean kills was Scott. But like that was the turning point throughout the fight. I know there's a little more before that, but that turning point made me laugh because it's like, oh, that's how people knew she meant business. She killed the person that she romantically loved the most or whatever. Like that's what it took people to say, holy fuck, fuck.
Well, that's it. I mean, the fight begins. They're going at it. They're all fighting each other. Of course, the big thing that happens with our boy is he shows up. He's not supposed to be there. And, you know, Cal's like, oops. I mean, I guess when I took out Wolverine, that changed things. And Cal's like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of him. And Nocturne's like, don't you touch my dad. After you went off about how weird my mom and dad are, you think you're going to touch? No, I'm taking care of my dad. And so she knows how to neutralize him in a way that's not actually going to kill him, right? And the way she does it is she jumps on him and lets him teleport basically until he passes out, because she knows that's his defense mechanism, because he knows that people usually can't handle his teleportation if he does it in succession like that, right? Usually, if he does teleportation in succession like that, it will make someone pass out, and that's how he neutralizes people. However, she's been teleporting on his back since she was a little kid, like playing piggyback. So she's just like waiting for him to pass out, essentially, from exhaustion, which he does. And then she's like, I'm so sorry, Danny. And it's like, all right, girl, moving on. Okay, it's not your dad.
we gotta go. He's fine. He ain't dead. He's just sleeping. It's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. You know who's not fine? Fucking Scott and Storm. They're not fine. And Colossus. He's also not fine. So yeah, basically we're gonna
Whatever,
move
it's
on to
Colossus, who cares?
yeah, it's true. We're gonna move on. Scott's dead now. And that's when everybody's like, holy shit, okay, this bitch means business. And Storm flies up and she's like, Jean, what are you doing? That's your man. And Jean's like, oh, you think you're a goddess? Guess what? Fire. I'm a goddess now. She did the whole look at me, I am the goddess now. And and she just fries Storm. And now it's just they got to kill this girl. They got to kill her. They got to get her down. But she is now fully enmeshed with the Phoenix Force. She is a force like nothing else. So yeah, this is going to be trouble. This is going to be hard. But so guess who's awake though? Wolverine's awake, and he has shown up with Morph, and he is like, Morph, I'm about to like lobotomize you unless you tell me what the hell is going on. So Mariko shows up, and of course, the only person who probably could talk to like could tell Wolverine anything is Mariko, right? Like he'll listen to her. So Mariko shows up.
Yeah, he listens to lesbians. He has respect.
He listens, especially lesbians he slept with in the past. So there you go. So basically, Mariko tells him, we have to kill Jean Grey. Like this has to happen. It's still hard for him to come to terms with, but he manages to get Angel, like Warren, on his side, and they come to terms with the fact that they have to kill Jean Grey. It's again, this is someone they love.
And listen, here's the thing that gets me is that the way that they decided she had to go, and the only way they could kill her was to basically distract her, surprise her, have Warren throw Logan in, and of course, we've all been here, right? We've all seen this, whether it's in film, comics, whatever. She gets Logan's claws. Oh, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, every time I have to watch, like, Jean as the Phoenix or Phoenix, whatever, getting killed by Logan's claws, I'm like, this just, it just bothers me. And it's not that it's bad writing or anything. I understand it. But I'm just like, not again.
I know, but keep in mind, this is like 22 years ago. So, like it's happened a lot since then, but you can't blame it for happening 22 years ago, right?
No, exactly. That's fair.
Yeah. So, she's dead. She's dead, but so is basically everybody. I mean, everyone's dead at this point. And yeah, it's just and now it's just the Talus is like, okay, we got to go. Moving on.
We gotta dip, guys. We gotta get because we got another problem, and very similar to like the first two issues we read, right? Issues 1 and 2, the first arc, where it's just like, yeah, all this turmoil happened. Everybody's feeling a lot of shit. It's really tough, but they gotta keep moving, which is sucky, but it's also very real. And I think that is sadly very relatable, right? We all have these horrible things that happen. I can definitely relate to that lately, but you just gotta keep going. And it's like, when do we get to stop and be sad? I don't know. Hopefully at some point, but right now.
That's it. It's just, you don't have time to, because there's just the Talus is going to move you on. And let me tell you, it gets harder and harder for them to move on as they get relationships with each other and have to leave each other behind. And we'll see that as we continue to read over time, as whatever we decide to do. I don't know what we're going to do. I do want to point out one thing. We're going to start Tail Watch 2023 if we're going to continue this, because Nocturne has a tail at the very end of this, and you'll see that it goes back and forth. Like they can't figure out whether or not she has a tail, and that leads to retractable gate, which is when they finally decide that her tail is retractable, which is a whole other thing. So which is very cute. So, but that's issues 2 and 3, which, I'm sorry, 3 and 4, which, oh my goodness, I'm sorry about that noise that just went off. Apologize for that. It's just my
okay. Lisa's popular. I'm here.
No, that's just my thing reminding me I have an appointment coming up. So that's all. But that's issues 3 and 4. So, I love it, of course, as usual. I'm making Lauren love it. I liked it.
I really liked it. And the nostalgia, I think, was just the right mix in, right? Because even if you read the first 2 issues, you're like, wow, that was good, but I don't know how I feel. They get you with, going to the Trial of the Phoenix, which is huge and iconic. I mean, pretty much any X fan is nostalgic on some level of that, as long as you've read the
Absolutely.
Phoenix Saga, which unless you just started liking the X-Men today, you've probably read that, or you've read some of it at least because of how great it is. So I think it was a perfect move. I think it was very, very well done. I would have liked to see a little more interaction between the Exiles and the X-Men, but I know there's reasons why they didn't do that. So no shade. I get it. It was really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the next arc.
Oh yeah, next arc involves Hulk. So
Wow, we're bringing in those Avengers, baby.
oh yeah, this is the thing. Like the Exiles it's an X-Men book, but they go all over the place. They're all
I
over
love it.
the I'm just gonna say MCU, but they're all over the Marvel universe. Basically, they bring everybody, and eventually, like non-X-Men characters do join the Exiles teams as well. So,
Mm,
and eventually, there's a second Exiles team.
yeah,
There's
which we'll probably get to at some point. I know,
yeah.
like, currently they've got Sabretooth in the Exile, so there's another one now, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
no.
behind on that.
So there's another Exiles team that will meet later on called I think they're
Mhm.
called Weapon X, and it's led by Sabretooth, the second Exiles team.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually Blink's Sabretooth from Age of Apocalypse, like her father.
Ooh.
And
Wow. Okay.
and the Weapon X team is so the Exiles go around fixing things. The Weapon
Mm,
X team goes around doing all the dirty work that the Exiles wouldn't do, basically.
mm.
So it's very interesting. It's a lot of evil characters on the Weapon X team. It's very interesting. So anyway, guys, thanks again for coming and joining us for Simply Amazing. Another beautiful episode of Exiles. We love it. We'll continue this, I'm sure, here and there. I don't know what we're gonna do. Lauren, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI. I have a YouTube channel as well for indie comics at MBHD Comic Show. Feel free to check it out. I know we're trying to get some more live shows in there, here or there. We'll get Lisa back on, things like that. So yeah, come see us, come find us, and we're our website is simplyamazingpod.com. So be sure to check that out. We're on the Twitter webs at simply AMZINGPOD. So bother us there, yell at us. If you're like, you're reading too much Exiles, we want more other Kurt things, then tell us what you want us to do. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want us to read. We'll make it happen. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep cruising through.
Absolutely. Yeah, come find us on the website too, simplyamazingpod.com. All of our Twitters, I know you just said our Twitter, but all of our socials are there. And if you're out there and you're saying to yourself, I wonder if people think my parents are weird for getting together. Who freaking cares what people think? Nobody should be saying that anyway, and you're simply amazing.